Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle? You wake up, go through the motions, and by the end of the day, you feel like nothing's changed. Deep down, you know you're meant for more, but no matter what you do, you can't seem to break free. That feeling of being trapped, of knowing there's something better out there but not knowing how to reach it, that's where most people give up. But not today. Today, I'm going to share a story that might just change the way you see your struggles. It's a story of frustration, resilience, and triumph. And by the end, you'll see how the hardest moments in life can become the foundation for something extraordinary. Stay with me, because this might just be the turning point you've been waiting for. Imagine this: you've been struggling for months, maybe even years. You've tried everything. The sleepless nights, the constant pressure to do more, to be more. You've looked at others who seem to have it all figured out, wondering, what am I missing? Why does it feel like the world is moving forward while I'm stuck in the same place? For many people, that's where the journey starts. In that space of frustration and uncertainty. But here's the thing: frustration can be a powerful teacher. It forces you to reflect, to ask yourself the hard questions that most people shy away from. Questions like, what do I truly want, and what's holding me back? Our story's hero, the person we're talking about, reached that same breaking point. They realized that continuing to do the same thing, expecting different results, wasn't just exhausting, it was a trap. So, they decided to do something radical. They stopped looking outside for solutions and started looking inward. But this wasn't an overnight transformation. The first step was terrifying. Letting go of old habits, old beliefs, and even some relationships felt like stepping into the unknown. They weren't sure if it would work, but deep down, they knew they couldn't stay where they were. Change is never easy. For our hero, the moment they decided to step out of their comfort zone was when the real battle began. It was like walking uphill with a heavy backpack filled with doubts, fears, and every voice from their past telling them, you can't do this. They faced sleepless nights wondering if they had made the right choice. Friends and family questioned their decision, saying, why don't you just stick to what you know? It's safer. Safe, yes, but safe never leads to growth. They knew staying in the same place wasn't an option anymore. Day after day, they pushed forward, even when progress felt invisible. They studied, they learned, and they failed, over and over again. But instead of giving up, they used every failure as a stepping stone. Each mistake taught them something new. And with every small victory, they began to believe that maybe, just maybe, they were capable of more. This phase was messy, exhausting, and at times, heartbreaking. But it was also where they discovered their resilience. They learned that strength isn't about never falling, it's about always getting back up. Then, one day, something shifted. After weeks, months, or even years of grinding without seeing the light, they noticed the first real sign of change. It wasn't huge, just a small win, but it felt monumental. It was proof that their effort wasn't in vain. Maybe it was landing a new opportunity. Maybe it was finally mastering a skill they thought they'd never understand. Or maybe it was just looking in the mirror and realizing they no longer saw the same defeated person they once were. The breakthrough wasn't a single moment. It was a series of small victories that added up to something life-changing. And with each win, they gained momentum. They started to feel unstoppable, not because the journey got easier, but because they had become stronger. By now, they were unrecognizable, not just to others, but to themselves. The person who had once been lost, stuck, and afraid was now someone confident, driven, and alive. They had built the life they once only dreamed about, one step at a time. But here's the thing, this transformation wasn't just about them. They began to share their story, to show others that change is possible. They became living proof that anyone, yes, even you, can rewrite their story if they're willing to fight for it. And this is where you come in. You've heard their journey, and maybe you see a little bit of yourself in it. Maybe you're at the beginning, unsure if change is even possible. Or maybe you're in the middle, battling every obstacle that comes your way. Wherever you are, remember this, the only difference between you and them is the decision to take that first step. That's it. They weren't special. They didn't have a secret formula. They just decided to stop waiting and start doing. And you can do the same. So here's my challenge to you, what's one step you can take today to move closer to the life you want? No matter how small it seems, it's enough. And if you're looking for guidance, this channel is here for you. If this story resonated with you, check if you're subscribed, because this is just the beginning. I've got a whole series coming up with strategies and stories to inspire you, guide you, and keep you on track. So, take that first step right now. Hit subscribe. And let's start rewriting your story, together. But if you think transformation is just a modern idea, let me take you back in time to a story that changed the course of history. It's the story of Karl Benz, the inventor of the first automobile, and his wife, Bertha Benz, a woman whose determination proved that dreams aren't just built in workshops or boardrooms, but in the moments when you decide to take action, no matter the odds. Let's set the stage. It's the late 1800s in Germany, a time when the idea of a motorized vehicle was considered outrageous. People couldn't imagine a world where cars existed. Roads were made for horses, not machines. Karl Benz, an ambitious engineer, dreamed of creating something revolutionary, a machine that could move without the help of animals. After years of dedication, trial, and error, he finally built it, the Benz Patent-Motorwagen. But here's the thing, dreams are fragile in the beginning. Karl had invented something groundbreaking, but the world wasn't ready to believe in it. People laughed at him. They said it was impractical, dangerous, even foolish. Karl felt the weight of failure pressing down on him. He questioned himself, wondering if he had wasted his time, his energy, his life. That's where Bertha Benz comes in. Bertha wasn't just his wife, she was his partner, his believer, and his biggest supporter. She knew that Karl's invention was more than just a machine. It was a glimpse into the future, and she wasn't about to let the world dismiss it without seeing its potential. So, in 1888, Bertha did something that no one, least of all Karl, expected. Without telling him, she took the Patent-Motorwagen and embarked on a journey that would change everything. She decided to prove to the world, and to Karl himself, that this machine wasn't just a dream, it was the future. Imagine this, a woman in the 19th century, dressed in her finest bonnet and gloves, climbing into a noisy, untested contraption that looked more like a science experiment than a vehicle. The roads were rough, there were no gas stations, and she had no map to guide her. But Bertha didn't care. She was determined to show the world what Karl's invention could do. She set off with her two sons on a 106-kilometer journey from Mannheim to her mother's house in Pforzheim. Along the way, Bertha faced challenge after challenge. The car broke down multiple times, forcing her to repair it herself using her ingenuity and whatever tools she could find. When the fuel ran out, she stopped at a pharmacy and bought Ligroen, the first ever gas station purchase in history. She even had to use a hatpin to clean a clogged fuel line. Can you imagine the stares she must have gotten as she rolled through towns and villages? People had never seen anything like it. They whispered, pointed, and even laughed. But Bertha didn't stop. With every turn of the wheels, she wasn't just proving the car's reliability, she was proving the power of perseverance. By the time she reached Pforzheim, word of her journey had spread. People no longer saw the car as a ridiculous invention. They saw it as a marvel, a glimpse into what was possible. And Karl? He was no longer just a struggling inventor, he was a visionary, thanks to Bertha's courage. Her journey wasn't just about a car. It was about belief, belief in an idea, in a person, and in the power of action. Bertha Benz's 1888 journey paved the way for the automobile industry, transforming the way we travel and connect with the world. But her story isn't just about the past, it's a lesson for all of us today. It's a reminder that even the most innovative ideas need someone to believe in them. That progress often comes with risks, doubts, and obstacles. And that sometimes, the boldest moves come from the most unexpected places. So, as you think about your own journey, ask yourself this: what would Bertha Benz do? Would she let fear or doubt hold her back? Or would she take that first step, even if the road ahead seemed uncertain? This story is just the beginning of what I'll be sharing in this series. If you're inspired by Bertha and Karl Benz's determination and want to hear more stories of resilience, innovation, and transformation, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Turn on notifications because the next video will dive even deeper into how their legacy continues to impact the world today. Let's keep moving forward, just like Bertha Benz did. Together, we'll find our own roads to success. Her story isn't just about cars, it's about courage. It's about believing in something so deeply that you're willing to take risks others wouldn't dare to. Bertha Benz didn't just drive a car, she drove change, innovation, and a new way of thinking. And now, I want to ask you, what's the road you need to take? What's the journey you've been putting off because it feels too risky or too uncertain? Like Bertha, the first step might feel daunting, but it could be the one that transforms everything. If this story inspired you, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button right now. There's a lot more coming in this series, stories of innovation, determination, and triumph that will motivate you to keep moving forward. And make sure to turn on notifications because the next video will take you deeper into the legacy of Karl and Bertha Benz, showing how their bold actions continue to shape the world we live in today. So, are you ready to take that first step? Let's write your story, together.